Hey YouTubers, it's Brian Big Boy 1000 back at you again. This is going to be part 11 to my AR-15 build from scratch, but we're going to call it part 2 because in part 1 I installed in part 1 of part 11 I installed the Magpul bad lever and the KNS anti-rotation pins, and after installing it I was going to talk to you a little bit about the gun, but someone knocked on my door, so I had to end the video and cut it short. So I'm going to get back to what I was doing. As you can see, I put the KNS pins on and I put the Magpul bad lever. Like I said, my wife got these for me for Valentine's Day, believe it or not, and she knows the way to my heart, right? And I've been holding on to them for a minute because I just haven't had time to mess with them, so I went ahead and put that on. So I'm going to talk to you today about why I chose the parts I chose, maybe where I bought some of my parts at. Go over a couple comments that I've got on my build since I've been posting videos of it, and just talk a little bit about it. So let's start out with I bought two ARs previously. They were store-bought, kind of new to the AR-15, and one. So I just happened to be in my local Walmart one day and was just happened to be looking for some ammo, and they had some AR-15s in the case. I'm like, wow, Walmart AR-15s. So I started looking at them. And they had one there, it was like $575 or something like that. It was a DPMS Sporticle. I was like, wow, this is pretty cheap. I've always wanted an AR. I said, that's cheaper than what I paid for some handguns. So I went ahead and picked it up. Brought it home, threw a bunch of cheap crap on it. UTG this, UTG that. I thought I was really doing something. And then I started getting on YouTube and looking at videos of people's ARs and just realizing all that UTG stuff was crap. And I really was liking the ARs that had the dust cover and the forward assist. So I wasn't really happy with the Sporticle as far as that goes. The gun overall I was happy with, just not the accessories I put on it and the model that I got. So I sold it to this gentleman that was going off into the military. Took the money from that, added some money, and ordered me a DPMS Oracle, which is pretty much the same thing as a Sporticle, but you get the forward assist and dust cover. And this time, I put on parts that, everybody had good reviews on, and they seemed good quality, and so I went ahead and ordered it. And I put Magpul, grips and foregrips and butt stocks and everything on it, EOTech Zombie Stomper, Midwest Industries flip-up sights. I really did the gun up. Had it for a while, but didn't buy no ammo because it was widely available. And then kind of shit hit the fan and there was no more ammo. So I got pretty upset that I had this gun sitting here and it was just an overpriced baseball bat because I had no ammo. And I wanted to put some rims on my new car, so I ended up selling the gun, getting some cash and buying some wheels. And Philly was having a seller's remorse after selling it. Didn't really want to sell it, wanted another AR, but they were kind of hard to find when I were looking for them, and they were very overpriced. So I started looking around and was like, well, maybe I'll just build one this time. Instead of buying a gun, taking a bunch of crap off and putting some stuff on, and the DPMS only had a non-chrome line, pencil barrel, wasn't like top-notch barrel, but it was still, a decent barrel. I opted to build one, and I was having a lot of different choices of picking a lower to start with. Being new to ARs, I didn't know what to get. So I just started looking around and seeing what had good reviews, what a lot of people liked, going to different forums, YouTube videos, just searching Google, and I come across Spike's Tactical. They're in the same state as me, as Florida, and they had a lot of good reviews. I never owned one of their rifles, but I thought that was pretty cool. I liked their logos, and nobody had anything negative to say about them, and there was in my home state, so I opted to go that route. Then after buying it, I wanted to get a Spike's Tactical upper. Well, couldn't find none nowhere. Couldn't find uppers pretty much, period. And as I was searching for uppers, I started coming across companies like Mega Arms, Seekins, Noveski, and a lot of other different companies, and I was like, wow, started looking into some of their stuff. I was like, I really would have liked to got a Seekins or Mega, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. But anyway, I was looking for a Spike's upper, couldn't find it. The only thing I could find was a DPMS upper. So that's what I bought. Got the DPMS upper, started to get more parts in. Mated the upper with the lower, put the pins in, and let me tell you, it was the sloppy. It just jiggled and rattled, and I mean, side to side, front and back pins. It was just a horrible fit. So anyway, someone left me a negative comment about DPMS, and I'm gonna let you know right now. DPMS, a lot of people hate DPMS because they have a couple rifles that they can build very inexpensively for people that really can't afford high-end ARs, and people seem to hate that. There's only so many people that are making uppers and lowers for all these companies. Now, some of these companies are now starting to get to where they're, machining their own uppers and lowers. But let me tell you, all your high-end people were getting it done somewhere else. So as long as your rifle is mil-spec, don't let anybody tell you have a piece of junk AR-15 because of the logo or the name that's on the side of it. As long as everything meets mil-spec, you'll be perfectly fine. Don't let nobody tell you no different. So that's kind of my theory on that for people bad-mouthing all these different names. I don't believe that one is that greater from another, though there is some differences in quality control and taking their time, when they're machining it. But, companies do vary on that. But as long as you get it mil-spec, you'll be fine. So anyway, didn't like the DPMS, sent it back, got my money back. Started looking around, really couldn't find no uppers. Come across this company called Aero Precision. Started doing research. They made uppers and lowers for Spikes Tactical, let alone a lot of other, good companies. So I decided to go ahead and get one from them. Well, I got it. It was a better fit, but it was still a little loose. So people were kind of giving me crap over it being loose, that, it's mediocre quality, and I don't believe Aero Precision is mediocre. I think they're a pretty, good company. They make stuff for aerospace, airlines. I mean, they've really got to be on their game. Then granted, I wanted the Spikes and couldn't find it. Now you can go on any website that I shop at, and they have the Spikes upper. It's $100, with the Ford Assist and dust cover already on it. I just haven't broke down for the $100 because that means now I got to take my handguard off. I got to take the barrel nut loose. I got, got to put it back on, spend $100. So, and I've already fixed the reason why, fixed the shake. I didn't go with the AccuWedge. If you guys have kept up with me and watched my videos, you know that I went with the Demon Tactical Quick Pin. It's kind of like a JP Enterprise pin. It like expands when you put it in, but this one locks over. You stick the pin in, you push the lever over, and the center expands and pulls the upper down to the lower, which I think is a better idea than the AccuWedge, because the AccuWedge is doing exactly what its name says. It's wedging between the upper and lower, which, don't get me wrong, you'd probably be perfectly fine and never have an issue with it, but I just thought that was a better fix, and I had to pay $40 for that pin, so I really don't want to spend another $100 on an upper. I'll just run this upper on this firearm until I decide that I don't want to no more, and then I'll buy me a Spikes to match. But then again, you're running into a problem. It's not a matched lower Spikes with a matched upper Spikes. So there is that possibility that the lower's on one end of the mil-spec and the upper's on the other end of the mil-spec tolerance, and it's still going to be a loose fit. And that's just the chance that anybody takes when you build an AR-15 from a stripped lower receiver that does not have a matched upper. Just that's why they make the AccuWedge and the quick pins and the JP pins and all the O-ring, all these tricks to solve the shaking and the wobbling of the gun, is because when you build one from scratch, I don't care if you got a Spikes lower, a BCM upper, I don't care if it's Rainier Arms, Mega Seekins, once you start mixing and matching, there's that possibility you're going to have some jiggle. Well, anyway, and that's why I was going to talk to you about Mega and Seekins. See, they know this is a problem because in some of their lowers that Mega and Seekins make, they put a nylon tip set screw in the bottom of the receiver so you can adjust the tension on the upper. So, and these are well-known, real good companies, and they know this is happening, and they put it in their lower receivers. And after I had purchased my Spikes, I seen that they did that and thought that was a great idea. And I thought about taking it to my local machine shop and having him do the same for me, or taking it to Spikes and see if they would do it, or just go up there to Spikes since they're local and try to see if they have some uppers in stock to mate to my lower for a tighter fit. But I don't think it's that drastic, folks. But anyway, that's kind of what I wanted to hit on. But I'll kind of tell you about the gun and tell you what I got now. Kind of give you a rundown, because the only thing left to get for this gun is I want to get a sling for it. I want to get some more pmags, some black ones, and I want to get some ODs, and then I want to get a magazine coupler, a couple of those so I can put two magazines together. Excuse me. I've been sick a little bit. But here, let's start at the back of the gun. All right. I wanted to go OD Green, so I was looking for OD Green stuff. At the time, like I said, things were hard to come by. I just wanted the regular Magpul OD Green CTR. It was inexpensive. Probably would have been around $75. I couldn't find it. I come across ACS. I found this at RK. I'd have to go on the website and see what it's a company I've never heard of, but I found this on a website out of someplace off Google that I've never heard of, and I paid like $116 for the ACS, but I had to have OD Green and I had to have Magpul, so that's what I went with, and that was like $116 or something. And then on the buffer tube assembly, I wanted mil spec and I wanted Spikes Tactical just to go with the Spike stuff that I was doing, and it was hard to come by as well. Only place I could find it was eBay, and granted, it was overpriced. It came with a buffer tube. It came with a T2 tungsten buffer with the spider on it, and the spring and the nut. And I want to say I paid around $120 or more for that, if not more. And on their website, it's way cheaper. So I did overpay for that, but I had to have it. So I did get that off eBay, And then here we got the end plate. I was going to go Magpul, but I didn't want to go with that little ring just jingling there, that little hook thing, like you catch on something. So I started searching around and come across the Noveski QD end plate. Or what it is, it just got a QD attachment right there on the end plate. So I thought that was pretty cool, so that's why I went with that. And of course, being a Magpul fan, we went with the Magpul grip. But I don't like their Moe grip, and I don't care for their other grip. Can't think of what the name of it is, but it's the two-piece. I think the Myad grip. I don't care for that either. But they come out with this new Magpul Moe Plus, and I had it on my last rifle, and it's got like a rubber texture, and I'm really fond of that, so I went with that. Of course, you got the OD Green pmags. I got the OD Green flip-up Magpul sights. I got the AFG Magpul on it. Low receiver, as you know, is Spikes. Got a CMMG trigger kit because I couldn't find a Spikes or let alone any other spring kits other than DPMS and CMMG, and I opted to go with the CMMG. It's got a Magpul bad lever on it, K&S pins. We got the Bravo large charging handle. It's got an Aero precision upper on it. We have a, let's see, WMD GUNS nickel boron bolt carrier group with the nickel boron hammer. Of course, we got the EOTech on it. Went with the 512 version because on my last rifle I had the Zombie Stomper and paid like $525 for it, and let alone I liked it. I wasn't a fan of that biohazard reticle it had. It kind of distracted me. So when I went to get another EOTech, this time I wasn't running the Moe handguard, so I had plenty of rail space. So I opted to go with their kind of entry-level one because I had a $30 coupon and a $60 rebate. So I saved $90 on it and picked it up for like $335. So I went with the EOTech. I was looking at the aim points, but after buying them out in EOTech, I'd been $600 into it and just wasn't going to spend that on an optic. So I got with the EOTech 512, and then I had to pick a handguard. This time I wanted to go free float, and I wanted to go with a 15-inch, and I was kind of stuck between Troy, Viking Tactics VTAX rail, or this Midwest Industry rail, and the Midwest was a little cheaper, and it came with the tool, the barrel nut, and everything you needed to install it. Whereas a Troy, I'd have to buy a regular stock barrel nut, and then buy the tool, and then I'd have been, a lot more money. So I went with Midwest because I used some of their products in my last build and liked it. So I went with them, and I see a lot of people running these key mod rails right now. But to be honest with you, I don't really like the key mod rails. I don't think that's any beneficial to what this is. And this one's actually a lot slimmer and feels better in your hand. And then underneath this rail, we have a FN Spikes Tactical, chrome hammer forged, chrome lined 1 in 7 twist, M4 feed ramp barrel, 16 inches. And then at the tip of it, we're running the Spikes Tactical Dynacomp on it. Was looking at getting a battle comp, but it was about another 50, 60 bucks. And I thought that was a lot of money to pay for, you know, some kind of a flash hider, muzzle device, compensator, you know, just something like that was a lot of money. And everything else I was going with was kind of spiked, so I opted to go with the Dynacomp. Could have went with an A2 for $8, and then it would have been just as fine, but I opted to spend a little bit more money and try to get something a little bit better. And then up front we got the Streamlight, and you know, I got that off eBay, $67. You know, it's the Streamlight ProTac HL 600 lumen light, programmable 10 tap with 3 programs. I was going to go with a VTAC mount, but that's was $25, $26 for the VTAC flashlight mount, and I was like, that's a lot of money to pay for a mount. So I found this cheap one on eBay for like $6 and went ahead and purchased it, and it's been working just fine. But yeah, I got, like I said, I shopped at Midway USA, Brownells, eBay for a lot of stuff. I can't even tell you all the places that I actually shop. I'd have to sit down and get a list, but the majority of everything that I got was from eBay, Brownells, or Midway USA. I did get my upper directly from Aero Precision, but other than that, that's pretty much where everything came from. I thought I'd just go over it with you guys here, and you can leave your comments down below. Tell me what you think, like, subscribe, and share. I might do another video on this if I get my sling, just to let you guys know and show you what kind of sling I went with and why I chose it. And then in the meantime, I'm just going to stack some ammunition and some pmags, and pretty much call it a day with the AR-15. So other than a sling, my rifle's pretty much together the way I chose. I wanted it together with the parts I want, and I don't think there's anything I need to add or take away, because I'm not a big fan of lasers, so I won't put one of those on it. And a momentary switch, I may or may not put on the flashlight, but I've got other projects to work on. I got my Mossberg 500 to work on still, and I got to get a set of night sights for my Glock, and I want to get a red dot or a scope for my Ruger 1022 takedown, and so I got a few things to move on with and make some more videos with. So until next time, guys, I'm going to call it a day, and hope you guys enjoyed. Later.